The PSTC was made in 2003 by RedOctane. It is a Sony PlayStation 1 and 2 compatible controller, which solely consists of a pedal-operated R1 button. Therefore it can be used with light gun games which support a second player controller as foot input. Initially it was sold for $40, but in the end all remaining stock was offered for half that. Nowadays the pedal is quite sought after and is traded at high prices on auction sites. The PSTC is metal made and on first glance it looks a bit like a miniaturized version of the Namco arcade pedal. Looking closer, however, it becomes evident that the pedal is a low-budget item. The diamond plate looks cheap, as its diamonds are shallow and not well defined. The mounting holes in the plate were probably drilled manually, as they don't line up well and make the screws look goofy. The thin sheet metal of the body is bumpy and poorly painted black. On the PSTC's bottom is a large anti-slip pad and a recessed sticker. My particular pedal arrived broken, as the top plate slipped over its stopcock, with which it then collided, preventing actuation of the internals. This was quickly resolved by disassembly, which just demanded the removal of the two bottommost screws. The pedal relies on two full-size microswitches, which are distributed to the sides. The brain of the unit is a single PCB which is screwed against a foam cushion. At the top middle, a very stiff coil spring is welded in place. When testing the pedal, I noticed that it just reacted if I pressed my foot at the left-hand side corner, but not if I pressed at the middle or at the right-hand side. I had to bend the arms of the two microswitches up considerably in order to make the pedal respond as intended. The biggest downside, in my opinion, is the stiff counterspring. It is so strong that playing from a seated position becomes severely uncomfortable. Even though the pedal rests on an anti-slip rubber pad, it attempted to glide away from me when playing seated due to the strong resistance of the spring. In an upright standing position, the spring becomes bearable and the PSTC works its best. But knowing how smooth and effortless the real Time Crisis pedal operates, it's difficult to appreciate the PSTC. I would argue that at its contemporary asking price it was a fun novelty, but if offered for today's collector's prices, I can't recommend the PSTC. The PSTC was sold in a plain cardboard box, which was imprinted with big black letters and sealed by a large holographic sticker. This is the end of the review. My name is Ben. I thank you for viewing.